Hello. Thanks for watching my video. For those of you who watch my videos on a regular basis, which is probably a handful, I just want you to know that I really appreciate you. Um, it really means a lot to me when I see I have one extra view today. That means a lot because it means that somebody's getting something and finds value in what I say. Um, Today's video is going to be about acknowledging the hood to your students. And let me explain what I mean by that. Yesterday, I was recognized by one of my colleagues um, as a teacher who keeps it real. And she specifically mentioned that I always have a story to tell. Even though I teach math, I always have a story to tell that's relevant and will help these students in life, not just in my class. And that meant a lot to me. Um, Today, my principal sent me a picture of receiving the award. I posted it on my Instagram. First thing in the morning, student walks in, says, "Congratulations, Mr. Swall. You deserve the award." How'd you know? "Oh, I saw it on your Instagram." Didn't know you were following me, but thank you. And then I saw a couple of former students walked into my room and say, "Hey, Smalls, good job. Congratulations, man. I wish I had your class again." Thank you. And, I've been teaching for a short time. And, I decided when I started teaching, I'm going to do things that I feel as a man needs to be done. I'm going to tell the kids what I feel they need to know. And one of the things that I've always talked to my kids about is this is the hood. It's the hood, right? Last year I had a student say to me, "Why are you always talking about the hood?" And before I can finish explain, another student said, and it was actually her friend, "Because this is the hood," right? So why do I talk about the hood to the kids? Number one, I have to acknowledge this, that we are where we are. If you're sitting on a trash dump, you can't say, "Well, let's just pretend that we're on Mount Everest," because it doesn't smell or look the same. It isn't the same. When you are in the hood, you do not recognize the things that are wrong, especially if you are born and raised in it. I was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles, and even though I was raised in a lower middle class part of LA, the hood was across the street. So I may have had clean clothes, but the kids down the street didn't. I may have been this close to joining a gang, but these kids were in the gang. I could hear the gunshots and hear the helicopter from my bedroom window every night, even though the shooting wasn't on my block and the helicopter wasn't on my block. I know what the hood is. And so I need my students to know that I know what the hood is. But more importantly, from my own personal experience, when I finally left the hood and I went away to college, I went to San Diego, which is not that far. Then I ultimately went to Riverside and finished. Riverside's only an hour and some change up the freeway. But when I finally came back to LA, the same community that I'm teaching in now, I literally was uncomfortable for months. I was looking over my shoulder. I was wondering why I was seeing the things that I'm seeing, why people are acting the way they're acting. And these are my people. These are the people that I grew up with or grew up around. And these behaviors may have been normal to me prior to the 3 or 4 years I went away for school. But now, after being away from that for a few years and coming back, it was just foreign to me. And so I make sure I translate that to my students. This is not normal. The situations that you're in is not okay. And so as teachers, we have to acknowledge that. Let the students know that this is not the way life should be for them, and that there's a path to getting away from it, and that's through you as a teacher. Parents, be real with your kids. let them know that you do the best you can, but you want them to do better for their kids. So let's just say that you are a parent and you work 2 or 3 jobs and you are in the projects, or you are in a small home and you have, all of your kids are sleeping in a 1-bedroom or somewhere. It is what it is, right? And you do the best you can, but also let your kids know that this is not how things should be. Let them know the mistakes you made. Let them know about the ditching that you may have done, or the drugs, or following behind the gangs, the wrong people. Let them know every decision that you made that led you to where you are now, so they can make a different decision. It's very, very, very important for kids to see that, number one, you are human. Because if you're a human, they can be human. Oh wow, my video just stopped. Oh, okay, now it's working. More importantly, they need to see that if they make the same mistakes as you did, that they may be where you are. I asked a young lady a couple of weeks ago who is currently not successful in my class. I always say not successful because it's never fail until the final report card. So there's always an opportunity that if they work hard, they can pass. I always tell students that you can go from an F to an A in one day. All you have to do is just work really, really hard and do all the work. Highly unlikely, but it is possible, right? And so I asked a young lady, I said, she was a freshman. I said, how old are you? When do you turn 18? 4 years. So in 4 years, do you want to live in your mama's house? She looked at me, she was like, hell no. Okay? What's your plan to get out of your mama's house? That's exactly what she said, nothing. She said she was silent. Do you have a plan? No. Let me tell you, there's only a couple of ways. Number one, you can get good grades, apply to college, get financial aid, and leave. Go live in the dorms. They'll pay you to leave home, right? Or you can finish high school, join the military, and they'll pay you to leave home, right? How's your jump shot? You don't have a jump shot. Can you rap? No. Okay, so the only other option, and this is not necessarily a good option, the only other option is to have a baby. I don't think that's what you want to do, right? She was like, oh God, no. Then, if you plan on getting out your parents' house at 18, you have to do well in my class. And I'll help you, but you have to do well in my class this year and next year, and then when I pass you on to the 11th and 12th grade teacher, you have to do well in those classes too. You have to graduate. If you don't have a chance of getting out of your parents' house at 18. The next day, this young lady who had never done a single bit of homework for the entire year showed up with her homework done. Not only did she show with her homework done, 90% of that class showed up with homework. Normally it's 20%. That is the power of being real with kids. I'm not one of those teachers that like to give them pie in the sky, and luckily for me, so far, I haven't had any of the real life conversations that I've had with my students come back for me. In fact, most of the time, the parents, if they do hear, sometimes I've had parents literally quote me word for word, and they were impressed by the things that I'm imparting on their kids. But it's very, very powerful when you can help a kid with real life, because they don't see teachers as people sometimes. Sometimes we're just people who give them grades and yell at them. Well, anyway, that's it for me today. If you like what I've had to say, please like the video. Share it with other people that you feel may need it. I talk to parents, teachers, and kids. I love them all equally like step cousins. Anyway, thanks a lot. God bless.